What's up guys? Welcome back to Money Grow, the channel all about making your money grow. Today I'll be going over exactly what it means to be financially independent and why financial independence is so universally important to practically every person and every situation. You may have seen the acronym FIRE before. It stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And that retire early part is something you can definitely do if you wanted once you become financially independent, but it's not at all an obligation. Next Wednesday, I plan to release a video over how to set goals so you can actually plan this out and achieve financial independence in your own life. But in this video, I wanted to give an introduction behind the meaning of financial independence and explain why it's so powerful for everyone to strive to become financially independent. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. We have our first Crow CEO, Jorge Ledesma, and our 4 Crow investors, Prismatic, Erica, Andrew Paz, and John Harden. Thank you all so much for your continued support. If you guys want to be notified immediately after I make a trade, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. I'll have all that information listed on there. You also get access to my real-time spreadsheet that I'm constantly updating with my trades. Link down in the description. Another easy way to help out the channel is by clicking my 3 different referral links in my description. That way we can both get free stocks and free cash. For a limited time until October 30th, Webull is giving away 2 free stocks valued at least $8 each and at most $1,600 each. Sign up before October 30th to take advantage of that. M1 Finance is giving away $10 cash, and Robinhood is giving away a free stock like Apple or Facebook or many others when you sign up. All those links are down in the description. Thank you. I entirely agree that the most powerful thing you can have in your life is financial independence. The ability to do what you want, where you want, when you want is remarkably liberating in every sense. Financial independence means having enough income to pay all of your living expenses for the rest of your life without having to be employed or dependent on others. This income typically comes from passive income, and in my opinion, the most passive thing you could do is invest in the stock market. I'll go more into why that's my personal view in a future video. From a very young age, I always thought that the idea of having to go to work every day was excruciatingly monotonous. This is perhaps due to the fact that my parents were always so hardworking and lived with a constant stress in their lives in order to provide for their family. They would do everything in their power to give their family the best life possible while spending virtually nothing on themselves apart from the bare essentials. Unfortunately, this meant they weren't able to save much for their own futures. While we didn't live a relatively luxurious life, they made it feel like we did. I deeply respect their sacrifices and struggles, and I'm extremely appreciative of everything they've done for our family. It's a saddening and unfortunate fact that personal finance isn't taught more in schools or promoted more by financial institutions. I had nobody in my life to teach me all these important topics that would affect almost every decision in my life and greatly impact my future. Chances are you may be in a similar situation. I want to change that and hopefully become a valuable source of information. If you enjoy this type of content, I would really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it and it helps me out a lot. Thank you so much. My ultimate goal is not simply to reach financial independence for myself, but to also be able to assist each and every one of you to join me on this adventure and accomplish financial independence for the goodness of your life as well. If you personally don't find work fulfilling, you'll no longer suffer from the stranglehold of a 9-to-5 job. You will no longer have to do anything for an income because your entire cost of living will be paid for by you doing absolutely nothing. But you can do anything you want. You can finally follow your passions that maybe were too risky or non-rewarding in a financial sense to pursue in the past. But now that all your bills are going to be paid for anyway, you can finally dedicate as much time as you'd like to achieving those goals. You can go back to school, you can volunteer, be charitable, get a job that you truly enjoy, do things just for the fun of it. exercise, travel, sleep in every day, and do nothing. The list is deeply personal for every individual and is why reaching financial independence is so motivational for so many people. However, those examples listed before barely scratch the surface. Imagine having a family that depends on your income and one of the most unfortunate circumstances occurs to you. You are suddenly and immediately fired for no apparent reason and your paychecks are suddenly gone. Let's say for this example, you have absolutely no emergency fund, no savings, nothing. You've always lived paycheck to paycheck and were relying on your next one to survive. So now what? That's a very real scenario that really happened to many people during the Great Recession of 2008. And it can easily happen again to countless people that are unprepared. Even somebody that diligently saved a small percentage of each and every paycheck is way better off than the average person because they have built up an emergency fund ready for exactly this. This hypothetical person isn't even financially independent, but simply has, let's say, around 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. For many people, 6 months is plenty of time to find a new job, even if it's a temporary, necessary downgrade. This person would still be leagues ahead of the average person. But now, let's replay that same exact scenario of losing your job, but this time it's somebody who's financially independent. Although it's still a devastating event, and no one can argue that, in terms of having the security to have enough income for your living expenses, this person is virtually unscathed. This person can live for the rest of their life without ever having to work for income. And if they're laid off or let go, they have options when it comes to what's next for their life. They're not put in a potential life or death prolonged stress-inducing situation because they have sufficient passive income coming in all the time in order to pay their living expenses. So we can see how even one of the most negative events, like losing your job, doesn't outstandingly affect somebody that's financially independent. Let's now move on to all the newfound time, freedom, and opportunities that financial independence offers. If you have children or plan to have children in the future, you're now able to spend as much time as you want with them. You can take them to school and pick them up every day. You can help them with their homework. If they're interested in an after-school activity, you can fully support their hobbies or passions and provide supplies and transportation without having to create an erratic, potentially career-damaging schedule. If they're sick, you're able to take them to see their doctor at a moment's notice. If you want to plan a trip with your child, you'll only be limited by their schedule and not yours. And most importantly, you can teach your children about money in order to ensure that they'll be set for life and possibly even develop generational wealth with this knowledge. Almost everyone I know has a dream that they would love to pursue, but they aren't able to do so because of the cost or because of the lack of time. Being financially independent solves both of those issues. You can finally pursue your passions and there's nothing stopping you. You will have the time and the money to finally do all those things you've been dreaming of doing. You can be more picky, risky, and authoritative with your future jobs. You can focus directly on your hobbies and passions without worrying about monetizing your work. The list is infinite, and again, it's personal for each and every person. I'm sure you could come up with over 1,000 beneficial reasons for how receiving passive income to cover all your expenses for the rest of your life would make your life substantially better. The famous saying, "Money can't buy happiness," may be true, but money can definitely buy peace of mind, time, and security. It's important to note that if you're an unhappy person without money, chances are you'll still be unhappy with money. But it's absolutely false, in my opinion, to think that having money won't make every aspect of your life more enjoyable, less stressful, or at least largely more tolerable. And on the other hand, lack of money certainly does provoke misery by denying a person even their basic human needs, such as food and shelter. They must chain themselves to the workforce life in order to have those basic needs, and some people have to resort to begging or stealing only to survive. So rather than simply focusing on survival and feeling primitive in nature, and even sometimes like a failure in society, one can climb their way out of this poverty by uprooting their entire outlook on money. If someone always has a scarcity mindset and keeps saying to themselves, money doesn't bring happiness, they will forever create and live in a negative feedback loop. They must accept the fact that having a place to call home, having clean clothes, plentiful amounts of food, a comfortable bed to sleep in, and other essentials and pleasantries can absolutely change the way their life is and alter the way they feel for the better. You're probably thinking, yes, I agree, and this is all great information, but how can I become financially independent? Next Wednesday's video will focus on exactly how you can achieve this. Not only that, but we're also going to be going over how to become financially independent with such a solid foundation that your portfolio value will never fully deplete, and even after you pass away, you'll even be able to gift your children financial independence as well. But more importantly, hopefully you will have already taught them valuable knowledge in order to continue that legacy into future generations. We'll be talking about how much money you need to invest, where to invest that money, how much you can withdraw from your balance every year once you're financially independent, and how safe it is to use this strategy, and so much more. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe and tune back in next Wednesday for that video. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. I hope you'll be back for future videos, and as always, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and comment. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.